So, truth be told, there was an opening in the last video I did in the series to talk about this next book, but I thought that this book deserved its own video. Even though I didn't bring it out as part of this grouping, two writers or two works, I should say two writers, and their works, almost all their works, that had a deep effect on me in junior high and high school was Edgar Allan Poe and Shakespeare. I loved Hamlet. I loved Macbeth. I loved The Raven. Reading their complete works was at times the only reading I was doing outside of comic books. And then after the Bible and a lot of mythology and a little bit of philosophy, I got to college. But before I got to college, I took this kind of 1-year sabbatical. And one of my great heroes from when I was a kid was Malcolm X. I obviously found out about him through the movie. And I really had loved, and I still do love, and now even more so, respect Martin Luther King Jr., but reading and learning about Malcolm X made me more radical and more aggressive and made me curious about Islam. And so I read, for the first time, and it'll be 2 times that I'll do it, but for the first time, I read the Koran. Now, this was actually the same Koran that a friend of mine who was Muslim at the time, he grew up Muslim, he was reading this exact same Quran. He was using this one. And we would talk and have conversations, and that would be in college. But first I read it, and I read it at the same time that I was reading a lot of stuff on magic and Satanism and stuff like that. I was at an apartment with 2 of my friends, and my 2 friends had girlfriends, and I did not, but we were all living in one apartment together. And although eventually I had a girlfriend that kind of lived with us for a little bit. But anyway, during that time, I decided to try to read the Quran. And when I read it back then, it didn't really mean anything to me. It didn't really have an impact. And I realized that for some people that will be very disappointing to hear that. But the Quran, the first time I read it, and I didn't finish it all the way through. I think the first time around, still got the bookmark, I made it all the way to, what's going before? To Abraham. That's as far as I made it. Was to Abraham. And it just really didn't mean much to me. I'm sorry to say. My friend who was Muslim, me and him would have long, deep religious conversations, but it would end up being mostly about either Christianity or about greater theology, God himself and reality and morality. Very little to do about the Quranic texts. So, but Safi, if you're out there, man, I miss you, man. You're a great friend, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop that here, and we'll move on to the next video.